The theater was quiet in a gentle way, not empty, but waiting. Soft blue lights rested on the tall walls, and the stage floor shone like calm water. People whispered and shifted in their seats, holding programs, holding hopes. Backstage, the air smelled of dust, warm cables, and old memories. A man stood alone near the curtain, breathing slowly. His name was Mateo Cruz. He was from the Philippines, and tonight he wore a white suit that reminded him of someone he had loved since childhood. He closed his eyes and listened to his heartbeat. It sounded like a slow drum, steady and brave. He touched the small ring on his finger, a gift from his mother, and felt ready, even if fear still sat quietly in his chest. Mateo's story did not begin with bright lights. It began in a small house near the sea, where the radio was old and the paint peeled from the walls. When he was young, his father worked long days and came home tired, but on weekends he played records. One voice filled the room more than any other: Elvis Presley. Mateo did not understand the English words at first, but he understood the feeling. The voice felt warm, like a hand on his shoulder. Mateo sang along, copying the sound, copying the smile. His mother laughed and clapped. His neighbors listened through open windows. Singing became his safe place, a place where worries rested for a while. As years passed, life grew heavier. Mateo's father became sick, and the music in the house grew quiet. Mateo worked many jobs, carrying boxes, cleaning floors, singing at small events when he could. People smiled, but smiles did not pay hospital bills. Sometimes Mateo wondered if his voice was only a childhood dream. Sometimes he sang Elvis songs late at night, softly, so no one would hear his doubt. He loved the music, but love alone did not fix everything. Still, when he sang, his chest felt open, and his breath felt free. That feeling kept him going, step by slow step. One evening, a friend showed him a video on a phone. It was America's Got Talent. The stage looked huge, the judges looked serious, and the crowd looked endless. Mateo laughed at first. It felt too far away, like another world. But later that night, he could not sleep. He imagined the lights, the silence, the first note. He imagined singing not to escape life, but to face it. The thought stayed with him like a quiet promise. Weeks later, with shaking hands, he sent an audition video. When the reply came, simple and clear, he cried alone in his room. Now, standing backstage, Mateo heard his name. Terry Crews said it with warmth and strength, and the crowd responded. Mateo walked forward, each step careful. The lights were bright, but not unkind. He looked at the judges' table. Simon Cowell sat with his hands folded, his eyes sharp but calm. Howie Mandel smiled gently. Heidi Klum leaned forward, curious. Sofia Vergara watched with open interest. Mateo introduced himself, his accent soft but steady. He spoke about his home, his family, and the music that shaped him. Simon asked why Elvis. Mateo paused, then said that Elvis gave him courage when life felt heavy. The room grew still. The music began, slow and familiar. Mateo closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them as he sang the first line. His voice was smooth, not loud, but full. It carried both strength and care. He did not try to copy Elvis perfectly. Instead, he let his own story flow through the song. The notes moved like waves, rising and falling, touching each corner of the theater. The crowd leaned in. Some people held their breath. Mateo felt the stage disappear. He was back in his childhood home, back with his parents, back with hope. As the song continued, something gentle shifted. Mateo added a small change, a soft run of notes shaped by his Filipino roots. It was familiar and new at the same time. The twist was not loud or dramatic. It was quiet and brave. Simon's expression changed. His eyes softened. Howie's smile faded into focus. Heidi placed a hand on her chest. Sophia's eyes shone. The audience began to feel something deeper than excitement. They felt honesty. Mateo's voice was not asking for praise. It was sharing truth. When the final note faded, silence filled the room. It lasted only a second, but it felt long, like a held breath. Then the crowd rose together. Applause rolled forward like thunder, warm and strong. Mateo stood still, surprised by the sound. Tears blurred his vision. He bowed his head, not out of pride, but out of thanks. Simon stood up slowly, clapping with purpose. The moment felt heavy and light at once. It felt earned. The judges spoke one by one. Howie said the performance felt respectful and fresh. Heidi said it was beautiful and sincere. Sophia said Mateo's voice carried heart and history. Then Simon spoke. He said that Elvis songs were difficult, that many tried and failed. He said Mateo did not fail. He said the performance gave him goosebumps. Simon paused, then smiled, a rare and gentle smile. Mateo's breath caught as Simon reached forward. The golden buzzer rang out, bright and clear. Gold confetti fell like warm rain. Mateo fell to his knees, laughing and crying at the same time. The crowd cheered louder. Terry Crews hugged him. In that moment, Mateo thought of his mother, watching from far away. He thought of his father's old records. He thought of all the quiet nights he sang alone. The gold around him felt like a promise, not of fame, but of being seen. The judges hugged him as he stood. Simon leaned close and told him to keep singing the truth. Mateo nodded, unable to speak. After the lights dimmed and the noise softened, Mateo sat alone again, but this time his heart felt different. The problem he carried for so long had not vanished, but it felt lighter. He knew challenges would come. Fame was not simple. Music was not always kind. But he also knew that his voice had a place. It had a path. He called his mother, and they cried together. She told him she was proud, not because he won something, but because he stayed himself. Weeks later, as the show continued, Mateo practiced every day. He rested his voice. He listened to advice. He remembered where he came from. When he stepped on stage again, he carried the same calm, the same honesty. Each performance felt like a conversation, not a show. People wrote to him from many places, saying his singing helped them feel less alone. Mateo read every message slowly, carefully, like prayers. In the end, Mateo did not become Elvis. He became something else. He became a bridge between past and present, between cultures and hearts. His journey was not about copying a legend. It was about honoring one while telling his own story. On the final night, as he sang under soft lights, he felt peace. Not loud happiness, but steady peace. He smiled, knowing that whatever came next, his voice would always carry him home.